right, it is Saturday. I have my interview problems laid out. Let's go through this and lose our will to live. Hold up. What's that say? Robinhood just announced Pip is a company principal? As a Robinhood shareholder, I'm very interested. Robinhood just announced Pip is a company principal. Folks are fuming because we're now officially a Pip company. Given the low stock performance, instead of laying off and giving severance, they're going to put people into Pip and fire. It was officially announced today. The reasoning? Because good is not good enough. Stay away from the company that democratizes Pip for all. You are warned. Yo, Robinhood trying to fucking upstage Amazon? Yo, how you gonna do that, bro? That's disrespectful. Now, first of all, for those of you who do not work for a company that has a bald lizard as the CEO, you may not know what a PIP is, right? A PIP is something that is, for the most part, industry-wide for most companies. It's a performance improvement plan. Most companies think of it as something to improve an employee that may be falling behind, maybe they have some gaps, and try to figure out if they can help them, and if not, then go their separate ways. You're terminated, you get some severance, and you try better at the next job, right? Well, some companies like Amazon, now Robinhood, and Microsoft during the Ballmer era, by the way, Steve Ballmer, greatest CEO ever known to mankind, the man who gave us Bing, literally used stack ranking and whipping to basically show that not everyone is good and somebody got to get fired at the end of the day. So it's almost like a political tool where, like, there has to be people who get fired. So if everyone is good, you have to find people who aren't as good and get rid of them. It's really great. It makes a really good work environment, and it's something that, I mean, personally, I don't mind. My back has been beaten so hard, I don't even feel it anymore. But Robinhood is especially slimy for doing this, because at least some companies that do this, I respect them. You know what I mean? They're like evil. They're like, we treat our employees like shit. You know how Walmart is. They whip their employees. They fucking fire them at a moment's notice. You say the word union, they'll shoot you in the head. And it's like they're evil. You know what I mean? They're scumbags. It is what it is, right? But with Robinhood, they're just so slimy, surreptitious snake reptiles. Now, I am going to put them in the reptile category. They really are just snakes all of their own. And don't think about the fact that a snake is a reptile. Just if you think about it, it'll fuck up the whole analogy. Now, Robinhood has been getting beat the fuck out in the stock market. Like, Robinhood literally is getting dogged out. Now, ignore the fact that I bought a position in Robinhood and I'm down 70%. I'm going to pretend like I didn't see that. Robinhood just ain't doing too well. Now, a lot of the reason why this occurred is because of two things. One, Robinhood is a pretty shitty business model. It's pretty much yet another startup, yet another new company where you spend, you hope you get new customers, and from there you just hope things work out, right? The thing is, Robinhood pretty much lost all support, for the most part, core support of people that use them. I mean, I still use Robinhood for options begrudgingly, just because I have no other option at this point in time. But they basically told everyone that uses their app to go fuck themselves when they basically disallowed people from buying GameStop, buying Nokia, buying SoFi, buying AMD, just buying stocks in general. And they basically fucked everyone in the ass that used their application, because they're like, yeah, dude, we had to halt trading to protect our investors, dude, I swear. Meanwhile, they let fucking 20-year-old kids kill themselves because their goddamn UI can't tell you what the fuck a margin call is. Like, let's not go into that. This is like, this bricked my mind already. The only reason I mention it is because it was brought up in the Congress call, and Robinhood basically was like, yeah, dude, I swear, we're trying to do better, dude, I swear. It's like they're worried about this because it affects their partners in business, but people who, jump out a window, they're like, oh man, that's tough, that really sucks, hopefully next time I get it right. Now, let me just go ahead, I'm salty, I'm still salty, but let me go ahead and let my past self, someone from a whole year ago, basically tell you how I felt the day after Robinhood stopped buying. You could not buy anymore and only allowed selling. You know what? Nokia is a shit company. We're just going to fucking make it so that you can't buy them anymore. If I knew that, I would have closed my position yesterday. I would have moved my money out of fucking Robinhood and put it somewhere else. This is the most unfair fucking thing I've ever seen. This is basically Robinhood saying fuck their customers. Fuck you if you invest in GameStop. Fuck you if you invest in Nokia. Fuck you if you retarded and bought AMC. You already know I own one share of AMC. And they're basically saying, go fuck yourself, motherfucker. We will protect our boomer fucking dinosaur friends. We will protect our boys in fucking blue in the fucking boomer community. All right, calm down. I'm going wild. All right, this was the day after this shit happened, okay? Now, looking back at this, I can say that from everything I said, the one regret that I have is that I didn't buy more AMC. That was obviously a mistake on my part. But Robinhood basically screwed over their user base. They didn't allow people to buy certain stocks. They forced you to basically be a loss boy. You're like literally, I got hit with a 20% loss immediately, and I was scrambling trying to figure out like what to sell and what to keep, what to do. They basically manipulated the market in a way that I've never seen before. Thankfully, the SEC did nothing. I appreciate that. Big ups SEC. But the point is, Robinhood's failure relies solely on this Bolshevik little boy from Bolivia or wherever the fuck he's from. Where's this motherfucker from? Bulgaria. Little Bulgaria boy. This little Bulgarian boy is the sole reason the company is in hot water right now. They literally doing jack shit. Their earnings report is garbage. Their user acquisition, garbage. Their user sentiment, garbage. Have they done anything to try to turn this around? Have they been like, dude, I'm so sorry. I promise we won't halt trading again. Dude, we're retarded. We should have never done that. No. What do? They say, damn, we is taking hits out here. We went from $50 to $12. That's really fucking tough. And by the way, it was 70 at some point. Whoever bought Robinhood at 70, I pray for you. I bought that shit at 45 and I'm feeling the fucking heat, right? So Robinhood sucks. Their business sucks. Their earning report sucks. Their leadership super sucks. And what they decided to do was basically say, okay, we are experiencing hardship in the market. We are experiencing issues within the company in terms of money, revenue, etc., etc. So in their mind, they're like, yo, we need to downsize. Now this happens. You know, the Better CEO did something similar where it's like, LOL, we're bad at management. Now we're going to lay off like 100 people. But Robinhood took it a step further and basically made it so that they can kind of future-proof and try to avoid the news of a layoff, because getting fired is not the same as getting laid off. Getting laid off means there's no fault for you. There's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything bad. It just so happens that us as a business couldn't continue having you here. So they fire you, right? Or lay you off, rather. But what this does is basically demoralize people and say that you suck. You're not good enough. You're going to get fired. You may or may not get severance because you weren't up to snuff. You weren't doing a good job. And this is basically them trying to avoid even more news, even more people saying, holy shit, Robinhood is $12 and now they're doing layoffs. I should dump this shitty stock, right? And, you know, it sucks because there's people here, like, if you look at the comment section, it's literally people, like, complaining about how, like, they literally worked overtime. They were trying to make the fucking stock successful. They're like, oh, I love to do it. I love to help. You know, I'm trying to fucking help this shitty Bulgarian boy become a multi-billionaire. And they're basically now getting told, you're not good enough. You're actually shitty. This guy actually says that, he spent more personal time, and he was actually told today by management that HR is like, yeah, dude, we're pushing for quotas. You're not that good. You're just not that good, dude. It looks like you're in line for a PIP. And now, understand that there is no rainbow at the end of the fucking tunnel. Like, there's no point in the PIP. It's basically a covert way of doing a layoff. Like, if hundreds of people are just magically now not meeting expectations, it's the most bullshit thing ever. Like, I pray to God that some way, somehow, Kramer, in his boomer ways, can see this and say, like, yo, Robinhood trying to dodge layoff news? What kind of shit is this? I mean, that's impossible. Kramer's fucking terrible. He never says anything worth anything. But the point is that Robinhood is now trying to avoid layoff news. They're trying to basically get around this by saying, oh, our employees aren't doing good enough. Obviously, the stock went fucking down 70% since, 3 months, not even a full quarter, because of the fact of the matter being that we have our software engineers who aren't doing good enough. We have our middle management who aren't doing good enough. The janitor, I saw the janitor, took him 2 minutes to fill a fucking trash can. What kind of shit is that? Fire his ass. He ain't doing a good enough job. Me, the Bulgarian boy wonder with my buzz cut, bowl cut. Yo, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yo, Jeff Bezos might be out here firing people, but at least he got a fresh cut. What in God's name is that bowl cut looking shit on that dude's head? He looks like Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified. Like, that's really your CEO? No disrespect. Right? Listen, no disrespect to Robinhood employees. They're going through it right now. They're basically being told that all of a sudden you're not good enough and you're going to get fired. By the way, no severance. By the way, find a new job. It sucks. I think Robinhood is a shit company. That's why I am moving over to SoFi. SoFi, big up SoFi. I think that Robinhood is going to eventually go to nothing because they've now basically lost their user base. They've lost any future user base. And really the only thing they have going for them is the fact that they're the only brokerage that has a good UI and the fact that they're one of few that has options. The moment SoFi gets options, like, I'm literally never using Robinhood again. Like, it's literally irrelevant. I only bought a minority position in it to see where they would go. Guess what? I learned where they went. I fucking played myself. I'm fucking retarded. But it is what it is. Well, what can you do? We all learn our own ways. I took an L on the stock market. People who decided to work in Robinhood now are getting fired because they exist. So at the end of the day, just remember, corporations are not your friend. Don't ever fucking, like this guy said, like, I sacrificed personal time. I tried to make it the best. Don't do that. Like, you're not gonna fucking revert the fucking changes that the Bulgarian boy wonder did in the span of a year, working overtime every day. It's just not gonna happen. It sucks. I really hope that, people make it out okay. I pray to God that the market finds out about this, and the moment these Robinhood employees leave, that Robinhood goes down even further. I hope the only people who are left to sit in the rubble is the Bulgarian boy and his friend. Robinhood sucks. They're nothing but scammers and thieves. And it sucks. It is what it is. It's official that Robinhood is now part of the PIP army. We'll see, how this happens in the future. And by the way, just to keep in mind, because this is a policy change, they'll probably keep doing this in the future and try to make it a more toxic work environment. We're like, obviously, we're not getting the results we want, so it must be your fault. You're the reason why. You got to go. So Robinhood is basically grasping for straws. They don't know what to say at earnings report, so they're like, LOL, we're getting rid of dead weight, whatever, Bolshevik. Listen, at the end of the day, hopefully these people find a new job. Hopefully they go through it. And I hope at one point in time I'm a boomer in the future who's retired, who could care less about this type of thing. But at least now I know to never work at Robinhood.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. Call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!